Hello there, my name is JLaw, and originally I was gonna do a basic tutorial on how to create your own mythic mobs, but I just scrapped that idea because I just basically realized that I'm really not fit for making a tutorial on that topic. Would be too much work. But what I can do is show off some of the mobs I created and explain to you how they work. That might be just as good as a tutorial, actually. We're gonna look at the YML files later. For now, let me just spawn in an ender skeleton and then spawn one, which is the internal game name of the mob. What you hear right there is my mob trap in my base. We're actually right now playing on the engineering office, which is a private server. I was gonna say private vanilla server, but we do have some plugins, obviously. And yeah, this is the ender skeleton. And that mob trap is really in there. Patch this over here so we have some peace. There we go. Okay, here's my ender skeleton. It's the first mob I created on the server, actually, no, it wasn't. Oops. Let me get out of your way. The first one I created was the fabulous zombie. That guy is pretty lame, actually, so screw that. Here's the ender skeleton. He has some cosmetic armor. It's basically just leather armor with a black tint. It does not have any special abilities. What it does have, though, is an unbreakable tag, so it doesn't get destroyed during combat. And that is that. He is wielding a power 3 bow, but he actually, when he dies, he does actually drop a power 4 flame 1 bow. That is because an ender skeleton will shoot flame arrows, no matter what. He will shoot flame arrows, and I don't know what to do about it. And I gave him several different bows to try to test out how strong they get. And power 3 is strong enough, but to actually give the players better loot, he does drop power 4 bow. With a chance, of course, not always. And he really doesn't want to be in the video, apparently. He seems a little shy. Okay, we got the armor, we got the bow. What else does he do? Excuse me. He emits particles, and this was actually very lucky. He also has a chance to spawn 1 or 2 endermite upon being hit. You see the particles? It's pretty standard end particles. He will also make the corresponding enderman noises, as you can hear, and actually each time he's doing the noise, he's trying to teleport away, because that is one of his skills, which I'm gonna demonstrate once I get out of creative. If you listen closely, let me actually turn up the volume on that. There we go. Hostile creatures. That's not too loud. I hope you hear that pretty well. That is an enderman sound effect, but it has a different pitch, which makes it a little more dark. The frequency is just lower, and you can do that with MythicMobs to make it sound a little more scary. I find it scary. I hope you find it scary too. So, about fighting this guy, I actually really don't want to, because he kinda kicks ass. He has a lot of health. He does a lot of damage, and the teleportation in combination with the fire tick skill is it's pretty hard stuff. It's really, really hard stuff. I want to eat a steak, but the steak is just spazzing out for some reason. Yeah, let's do this. I'm just gonna despawn this guy. Because if I'm gonna fight him over here, what would happen is he would likely teleport into my base, like in there, and that would be unfortunate because I want to show off the combat with this guy. Okay, let's spawn him in again. Get to some distance. and go into survival. Here we go. Oh, I'm messing up badly right here, and that zombie is not helping. I might heal myself just for the sake of this video. Yep. Oh, and as you can see, I had a night vision effect on me, which should return. There we go. Now you can see again. The thing is, you want to keep moving all the time while fighting this guy. Ugh. Heal. Stop kicking my ass. I beg you. You want to keep moving for obvious reasons, and you want to do it better than I am doing right now. Come on, I want to get a good hit on you. Ah, there we go. That is one big XP ball, and that is for a reason. Well, I would have died like a little baby right there 2 times. And get out of here, you. And you actually get a lot of XP upon killing this guy. I'm on level 24 right now, and I just went to level 26, which is quite a lot for just one mob. As you can see, killed a zombie, basically didn't do a thing. So he drops some ender pearls and a bone. That's great, I needed a bone. Fighting regular skeletons is fairly boring. I mean, the Minecraft mobs in general are not that entertaining. Gotta be honest, they really aren't. Unless you're easy to scare, I guess. The creeper is interesting, the enderman is interesting. Some others are, but basic skeleton, basic zombie, could do better, really. And these skeletons are hella fun to fight. I love them. I love fighting them. And I really wanted them on my server. I don't know how much the other players on my server enjoy these guys. Right now I'm alone, couldn't ask anyone. But this guy is too hard. So what I did, I made him rare, as I said before, and created his little brother. Hold on to your chair. I just messed up. Oops, there we go. The minor ender skeleton. Haha. So these guys are pretty much the same. Well, he's bigger, obviously, and stronger, and he looks different. But apart from that, they're pretty much the same. Oh, he also drops different stuff, but whatever. He does less damage, of course. He's just a minor ender skeleton, just a servant. But they do share the same skill set. He does the same teleportation. We're gonna take a quick look at the YML files in a second. He uses the same teleportation skills as his big brother, but he has a lower chance of using them. He doesn't teleport around as much, he doesn't do as much damage, and of course his loot, the loot he drops is a little less. But fun to fight nonetheless. And he also has the ninja-ish looking armor on him. And he actually dies at daytime, unlike this guy. He will never suffocate from fire or lava damage, because he's based on a wither skeleton, and I wouldn't really know how to change that, but that's fine. And I think that's that for these 2 mobs. That's that. Let's take a look at the YML files. So here we are at in the YML files of the Ender skeleton. Up here is the internal game name, which is referenced, which is used for referencing the mob. For instance, if you want to spawn him, you punch in MythicMobs, mobs spawn, NC1, and that would spawn this mob. And it's also used for referencing the mob in other YML files. The type is wither skeleton. Obviously, self-explanatory, not gonna go into that. And the display name is the Ender skeleton, right here. and the N5 is actually color code, which will make the name purple. I'm gonna link the bukkit color codes you need for that in the video description. The health is 90. For comparison, a zombie or a skeleton have about 20 health, which is way less, way less, just 10 hearts. Here we have 90 health, which translates into 45 hearts. But in comparison it's a lot, but if you have a Smite 4 or Smite 5 sword, you can get this guy down pretty quick. So it's really not that much, it's pretty low still, I think. General Minecraft mobs are way too easy to kill. Damage is 20, but this is not important, this is actually completely redundant, because the damage value like this does not do anything on ranged attacks. This is only for melee attacks. Faction is end, but redundant because there are no AI commands on that for this specific mob. Now to the mob options. The follow range is 30, which is quite a lot in comparison. I think a creeper and a normal skeleton have about 10 to 15 blocks follow range. This guy will follow you from 30 blocks. It means he can detect you from 30 blocks away. So it's either you run or you fight. No in between. Prevent other drops. Self-explanatory, I guess. It's set to false. If this were set to true, it would mean that the mob would not drop its usual drops. Now this is a withered skeleton, and it would usually drop coal, bones, withered skeleton heads, and some XP. And it wouldn't drop that anymore if this were set to true. But we wanted to drop that, so it's set false. Despawn is set to true. Self-explanatory. Default is false, I believe. Prevent item pickup, true. Also self-explanatory. Since this is set to true, the mob cannot pick up any items thrown at him, and I really wouldn't want to see this guy with diamond armor. Movement speed is 0.3. The standard value for movement speed on mobs is 0.2. So this guy is pretty fast. Again, as on the follow range, it's either run or fight, no in between. Equipment, pretty standard stuff. As I explained, the equipment is purely cosmetic, at least the armor items are. Now these are purely cosmetic, and what you might not know, the mob, standard Minecraft mob, has 5 item slots. 0 is the slot in which the mob holds his weapon. That could be a bow, that could be a sword or a stick or anything, pretty much. The mob can hold anything. And this one is wielding a power 3 bow in its 0 slot, in its hands. Now 1 is for the feet, 2 is for the legs, 3 is for the chest, and 4 would be for the head, but this mob doesn't have anything on its head, so there's nothing here. And before moving on, I'm gonna go into the gear file. Here you see this is the chest plate, which is item ID 299, which is a leather tunic or leather chest plate, if you want to call it a chest plate. It's unbreakable, so it doesn't break during combat, and the color is 0. This doesn't do anything, it's just unbreakable, purely cosmetic. And the power 3 bow is in here, in another mob's file. It's just using the same arrow. Not arrow, bow. What's wrong with me? Okay, and moving on. Damage modifiers is projectile 0. That is for projectile damage. The ender skeleton is supposed to be some kind of semi-boss, and it would be kind of cheap if you could just go ahead and kill this guy with a bunch of projectile shots, just shooting arrows at him. Wouldn't make any sense, so this is set to 0. The skills. Shoot. It shoots a projectile, in this case an arrow. What these values do here, I don't know out of my head, but the velocity is 10, and it will be shot at the target upon taking damage. This is the trigger, and the chance for triggering is 25%. So basically, each time you hit the mob, you have a 25% chance of getting an instant retaliation shot. Next skill is TP to player, also toggled upon being damaged and has a 85% chance of being toggled. That skill is over here in the Ender Skills YML. What happens is a sound will be played. After that, Endermite will be summoned, 2 of them, in a radius of 0 around the mob with a 5% chance. And after that, the mob will teleport in a 10 block radius horizontally around the target. The other skill is teleport to self, which will be toggled upon attacking, but only has a 35% chance of happening. And that is pretty much the same, but the mob teleports to itself, like around itself, not around the player. Okay, this is just a sound effect which plays randomly. It's on a timer. 60 does not mean 60 seconds, it means 60 ticks. Each tick, each second equals 20 game ticks. So this means this would be toggled each 3 seconds and has a 10% chance of actually being toggled. So each 3 seconds this mob has a 10% chance to play a sound effect. And these are just particle effects, which I'm not gonna go into the details on. And before I go into the drop tables, let me show you the minor endoskeleton. You can see basically nothing changes on the screen as I change between these, except for some minor things, which would be the health. It's 80 instead of 90. Oh, big difference. You can actually take projectile damage, but very, very, very few. 1 would be standard value. And it has the same skills as the Ender Skeleton, but a lower chance of toggling those skills. And the drops are, well, not the same, but similar. Let's go into the drop files here. Ender Skeleton drops. So the Ender Skeleton, apart from its usual drops, which would be, again, bones, coal, and what was it? I forget. Wither skeleton skulls, would be 200 XP, which is quite a lot. Usually I think you get 10 XP from a mob, something around that. 368 is Ender Pearls. Might want to put that in here. Ender Pearls. Otherwise you might forget. Yeah, 368 is the item, the data tag for Ender Pearls. And it can be 0 to up to 7 Ender Pearls, and it's always a value between those, between 0 and 7. It also has a 50% chance of dropping one of its bows, which has power 4 and fire 1. Now, the minor Ender Skeleton has only a power 3 bow, it doesn't do the flame effect. It's way easier to kill, so it drops way less XP, almost just half of it, and it also will drop Ender Pearls, but just 1 to 4, nothing more. And I believe that's it about that mob. I thank you for watching, and I hope this video has helped or will help you create your own MythicMobs. Thank you for watching.